Hey, 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 it is your girl, Miss Trina, and I want to thank you for making the choice to click in today. I'm continuing on with my month of Black Love, and today my featured special guests are Roy and Ruthie Beck. I'm excited about this month because this month is my theme is Black Month of Black History and Black Love. And I've had some awesome couples, and today is no different. My last couple they were newlyweds. Now today I have some seasoned married folks today. This is different. I don't think I've had anybody I have two couples today and tomorrow that are like nicely seasoned couples that can really tell us some things. So I want to introduce Mr. Roy Beck and Mrs. Ruthie Beck. Hey y'all, hey.
Hey baby, how you doing?
I am good. I want to thank y'all first for joining me to participating. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting us.
Okay.
Go ahead, baby.
Ruthie Beck. Ruthie Harmon Beck.
Harmon Beck.
Harmon Beck.
Roy H. Beck Jr.
Oh, you're junior? Oh, because
Yes.
Little Roy is Roy the third?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is there a Roy the fourth?
Kinda.
Or
Kinda, sorta. They gave him Jeremiah.
his middle name different.
Yes.
Yeah, first name different.
Okay. Okay, so how long have y'all been married?
Wow.
46 years, going on 47.
Wow. That is definitely a blessing.
Yes.
When and where did y'all meet?
The win is wow.
And 70.
72, 74.
Mhm.
She was working at a little place called Get In on Homestead. And I went there one Sunday afternoon to get a burger and we started talking. And we was in the same neighborhood, so that's kind of yeah.
Is it Riverwood?
No, we're actually on the 610, closer to the 610.
Yeah, the other side of Riverwood.
Other
You know
side.
where
Okay.
Yes, the
Okay.
barbecue place here is on Homestead,
Triple J.
Triple J's.
Triple J's on that side. Okay,
Yeah.
y'all both from Houston?
No,
Oh,
I'm from East Texas, a little town called Carthage, Texas.
yeah, I've heard of that.
And I'm a native Houstonian.
Okay.
Wasn't born here, but I've been here all my life.
She's not native.
Okay.
She's Beaumont.
Who's originally from Beaumont?
Beaumont.
No, I was raised here.
You're not claiming Beaumont?
I'll claim Lafayette, Louisiana. I was born there, but I was raised here.
Okay.
Have not lived anywhere else.
Here and there.
Here.
Ruthie, I like your hair.
Thank you.
So did y'all have a long courtship before marriage?
Before marriage, actually, I count all of our years together. We stayed together 4 years prior to getting married. So actually, yeah, that would be a courtship. Even though we lived together, we were getting to know each other. But we actually was seeing each other before I moved in with him for a year.
Okay, okay. So was there a getting down on an actual knee for the proposal?
Oh no. That was
I was too country for that, I guess, or whatever. We kind of started talking. We kind of liked each other, and of course, she moved in, and it just kind of took off. I think it was we got married the 5th year after we was together, and we got married in Thomas Foster's office.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. We had already had 2 babies. And we were on our way to a business deal when we got married. Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. So y'all were both already Church of Christ?
Yes. No. I was born and bred, as they say. She was Baptist. She started going, visiting, and she surprised me because one Sunday she got up and got baptized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we was trying to do it right for our children.
Yeah.
And that was I wanted my kids raised the same way. So.
Okay. Roy, when did you know that Ruthie was the one?
Mm.
I think I always knew it. It just took me a while to accept it. You know, I was kind of crazy back then, young and crazy. And but she was a person who I trusted. I mean, I could trust her with anything. And I never found anyone else that I could give that kind of trust to or get that kind of trust back from. And so I knew then. I just had, I kind of put her through the ringer, but she was always right there. Always.
Okay. And Ruthie, what attracted you the most about Roy?
His voice.
His voice?
His voice.
It's like a radio voice, huh?
Yes, had a sexy, deep voice. I was like, okay. Yeah, that was the initial attraction.
Mm-hmm. How did you know he was the one?
I'm sorry?
How did you know he was the one, though?
How did I know he was the one?
Back then, it was the sexiness. That's probably all we was thinking about back then, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. And he was the one. Honestly, he was the one I was gonna give it to. That's how I knew he was the one.
That's how I knew he was the one.
Yes.
Back when I was young, and now that I'm grown, I be thinking, but all I was thinking about was, okay, was they cute? And this is gonna sound crazy. Cute gold teeth earring in their ear. I ain't thought about no 401k. I ain't thought about none of that. I'm trying to see what the 401k look like.
Right. Now you want to know that first. I
want to know that first.
I always tell people, man, to ask some questions. We didn't ask questions. We just, saw, we liked, we dated, and boom.
And there we go.
But I always try to encourage young people to ask questions and go visit mama and go visit daddy, because 9 times out of 10, that's who you're going to end up with.
Yeah.
Facts. Mm-hmm. And on that note, I interviewed a young couple last year, and the guy, the female she had children. He didn't. And he knew, he had a list of what he was looking for. But he said what he had started doing, because he knew what he wanted, because he didn't want to play around and anything anymore. He did what he called a pre-date. And that's the date that you go to and you can ask questions, And I thought that was kind of cool when he said that. And I said, well, what if they don't want to answer the questions, or people run away when you ask them? He said, well, that mean them the ones that you don't need. If they don't answer the questions, that's not the one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I always heard, don't go to bed angry. Do y'all agree with this, or?
Yes,
I agree, but we don't do it.
No, we did try to practice it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we still do.
Well, now it's gotten better. It's a lot easier now to go to bed. All right. Then, it's not holding anything in.
It's just not that important anymore.
Right.
And then, but what about, sometimes you're so angry or so upset that maybe you do need to sleep on it. Do you think like that too?
I probably do, but with her, it's like water off a duck's back. When the conversation over with, it's gone. Mm-hmm. With me, 2 or 3 days later, I'm still picking going on, Yeah.
I'm trying to get it resolved.
Yeah.
So have y'all perfected communication in your marriage?
None whatsoever.
No.
Do you think that there is a such thing?
As perfection? No, I don't. I think you just you continue learning and you just do the best you can. Yeah. And the more you try to communicate, the better you get. But I don't think you ever get perfect.
I think the kids that never shut down. Mm-hmm. We went through that period where I would shut down or she would shut down and kind of dig in. But I think the kids that the perfection or agreeing all the time or whatever, you're right, you're wrong type of deal. It's not realistic from what we've experienced.
Right, right.
And we have had marital counseling, off and on for many years.
Do y'all think that's one of my questions. Do y'all think it's a good idea?
Yes.
Yes, it was the idea for us.
What about premarital?
Well, we tried that, but with Brother Foster, but And we tried it with another guy too.
Mhm.
But Brother Foster told us to get out of his office because I have some hours in counseling, and that's Ruth's profession. And of course, we were all running around in circles up in there. He said, yeah, he told me, Beck, this not gonna work. Just not gonna work. And at the time, I think we was able to get some things out though,
Mhm.
to hear something that we hadn't heard. And I think that's what's important about counseling, that you have another third party that has said, that's not what I heard. This is what I heard.
Mhm.
And that's what counseling has done for us.
Yeah. Because sometimes everybody's trying to get their point across and be
Mhm.
right. And that
Yeah.
third party is the one that.
There you go.
Do y'all think it's a good idea to have pre-counseling though for people who are thinking about getting married?
Certainly.
Yes.
Certainly.
Yes.
And I even have sit down with couples and did that for them. One couple in particular, we sat down and we went through our 6-week course, and at the end of the 6-week course, I suggested they didn't get married because she was from a background of all predominantly women, and his mother was separated from his father for over 20 years, and when he'd come over, she would still go make him breakfast. So they were like that far apart, and his expectations and what she was willing to do, because she'd been in an independent, dominant female family all of her life.
Right.
And of course, they went against the suggestion. It lasted, I think, 3 years, and they decided to go their separate ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the judge? One of those judges on the court shows you say, "Look deep before you leap."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You guys have had challenges like everyone does. What helped you to decide to stay together and keep it moving? Even if you've been apart, come back together, what made y'all decide that it was worth continuing to go forward?
Well, for me, it was worth it because of I had invested so much of myself into it and family, and I still really loved him. So it's like, okay, am I gonna put myself out there? You don't want to tell myself, you don't want to deal with all that stuff going on out there. So it was worth it to me. It was like, I think about the pros and cons of it. I need to be back home,
right, with
my husband.
And Roy,
I think for me, when she met me, I didn't have anything. You know what I'm saying? So she loved me for me. I knew that.
Yeah.
And for me to risk that with someone else who was looking at what I had or whatever, it just never. I just could never trust anyone else.
Yeah.
I trusted her. I still trust her, and I love her, even though I had messed up ways of showing it. Of course, that was, at the time, it was the best I could do. But I just knew that was a woman I wanted to grow old with. I knew that,
Okay. So do y'all think for couples who stay apart, I don't know, let's just say 8 years, do you still think it's a possibility for them to grow back together?
We stayed apart for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I mean, we got back together, and it was the best thing I think that ever happened to us. But I don't know if 3 more years we could have managed 3 more years. But I know 5 years later.
Long enough.
Yeah.
And we made a firm decision that we're gonna be no more separate house stuff. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it right here together. You go to the other bedroom or whatever, even though we don't do that. But if it came to that, we got a spare bedroom.
Right. Okay. Have this issue with in-laws or people on the outside of your marriage coming on? And if you did, and any issues, what I call it, leaving and cleaving, did y'all have any of those issues? And if so, how did you handle it? If not, what do you suggest that how people handle that?
I think we had a very clear understanding of not allowing our families between us. I had great in-laws, even though initially my perception of my father-in-law was basically what my mother-in-law and what Ruth had gave me. When I got to know him, he was a completely different guy, but we never he never interfered in any kind of way. And so I have good in-laws from my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, all of them, and never had a problem with any of them.
Oh, that's good. And you,
And
Ruthie?
I had the best mother-in-law in the world. You know, that my in-laws actually lived with us for quite a while.
Okay.
And my mother-in-law, she didn't have anything to say in regards to what he and I did, said anything, unless you ask her. If you ask her, she told you a true opinion. But she was, I don't think you can find a mother-in-law as good as mine was. I really don't. My father-in-law was all right. You know, that was, you need to talk to your dad.
Yeah, he had an alias. They call him Coon Man.
Yeah.
You need to go talk to Coon Man. I'm like, ain't that?
That
He
is
would
funny.
listen to her before he would listen to me. Him and I would end up arguing. She'd go and I said, Dad, go do this. He'd get up and go do it. But with me, it was an argument, man, every time. So
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all's advice would be to make sure that that's clear ahead of time, though.
Yes.
I think we click. It's just certain things that we click on, certain issues that we knew together. We agreed even without talking about it. And that was one of them, the in-law deal. They were never going to interfere. We never even had that conversation. We just let them know that, this is Ruth and I, or vice versa. And they never, like I say, we're great. I had great in-laws, and just like you said, they let us be who we were.
And yes, and I agree with that. That would be my advice, to let them know up front that they had that mutual understanding. We can't let anybody else get in this.
Yeah. You are empty nesters.
Yes,
so
we are.
Y'all don't have to make time for date night, but do you carve out some time to do a date night?
By the time we became empty nesters, it seemed like this pandemic jumped up.
Right.
Of course, for me, that was kind of like a relief, but we, even in our therapy, we did it, we tried it, and it worked for a while, and we still do it. It's just that we like to just take a trip every once in a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Get away from everybody and get away from everything. That'll last for 3 or 4 months, rather than just do it once a week.
Yeah.
He is a homebody.
Yeah.
And I can get that way too. Yeah. We get comfortable. We might make plans to do something, and there it comes like, I ain't feeling it. Don't let it rain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Or get too cold.
Yes, right. It's too cold. But we basically, we do find some time, and it's usually a Saturday morning. We'll sit up here and do something, watch a movie or something where we're in the same room. Okay. Because on the weekday, he's retired.
Okay.
I go to work every day. When I come home, I want to just chill.
Yeah.
So I go to the room because I don't want to watch any sports. Okay. Right. And we do real well doing that. So we carve our time out on Saturday.
Right. Long as you can have your little rest time, chill time, you get off of work. Just give me that.
That's right.
So Ruth, you don't watch any sports?
I watched the Super Bowl this weekend. I was in the sports when my kids were in school.
Oh, yeah.
They were in the sports. I was there. I go to my grandchildren's sports events sometimes, and it's usually on the weekends. But TV, nah, I'm not into it.
Yeah. I've never been to sports.
She buys tickets for me and tell me to take somebody.
Yeah. That works.
Do you think it's important, date night?
Yes, if I had to do it all over again, I would. I've been in this conversation about habits of who you are. But if I had to do it over again, that would be one of the things that I would strictly monitor and try to hold to. Yes. Yes. So I don't know. I know you remember there was an old couple, Brother Brown, Sister Brown. And I used to always admire them as old as they were. They would sit together, hug, and I mean, I'm like, how do you get there, man? After all those years, you know? And it was just a habit that they had formed, and it carried over to the old age. So
I
yes.
do that too. I was somewhere, I was out or something, and it was a couple. They've been married 45 years, and they, first of all, let me just tell you, they could dance. Let me just say that.
Okay. Okay.
They was cutting a rug, but
Yeah.
they've been married 40 something years, but they were so happy and they just looked like they were so in love. I'm like,
Yeah.
why not me? You know, so
Well, how do you do that though? You know, you be thinking like, how did 45 years, you know, and then still dancing and stuff, you know, that is a lot of work.
a lot of work.
A lot of work. Yeah.
And my kids, it's funny, I have this conversation with my daughters sometimes, and they don't get it yet, but they'll say like, one of them doesn't want to get married ever, because she's like, I just keep hearing people say, oh, it's work, it's so much work. If you like each other, why is it so much work?
Yeah.
And so they don't understand that part.
Yeah. I think because of the struggles that they probably have seen us have in our marriages, and they look at it, but they don't. I tell my daughter now, she comes over, she said, I love coming over here because me and Ruthie, we get at each other. We still get at each other. And they just get a kick out of it, man. They get a kick out of it. But we understand. I mean, it's just what we do.
Right.
And for a while, everybody will get real tense and everything, but it's just what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does take work in a marriage, but her thought process, my oldest, is like, I just don't understand. I just think people get married and they just don't like each other. Because why is it this much hard work? So maybe she'll be a little, she's only 30, so maybe, you know, maybe I'll get a son-in-law one day. Your favorite thing to do together is like get up and take a trip?
Yes.
Y'all like road trips?
No. Well, that too, but
we like traveling on plane. Yes. Preferably somewhere where it's beautiful, serene water.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like cruises.
I was gonna ask you that. You don't like cruises?
Well, we did a 7-day, 6-night deal.
That's too long.
Burnt me out, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, I might could do a 2-day or something like that, but man, I could never do that again.
I do a 4-day. The only one I did, one 7-day, but the one I did that was a 7-day with my girls. For some reason it fell to where we were somewhere every day. That was the one. That one worked, but otherwise I hated that. It was like, when are we going home now?
That's it. And you get back on the boat and you're looking at, oh no.
I saw that same thing last night. I saw that same.
All up, and all you got is either dancing or gambling.
Yeah.
Dancing or drinking or gambling, and you know, it just wore us out.
Yeah, it wore him out. I enjoy cruises.
I love cruises.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it for 7 days unless, again, it's like I did before when we went like somewhere every day except like the 2 days.
Yeah, I've done another 7-day and it was really enjoyable. Yeah. And I was with my sister and all her girlfriends, you know, and they all drink. I don't drink, but I found some things for me to do. Shoot, I didn't have to be with them. I went and played cards and dominoes and
she loves traveling.
Yeah,
you know, if she come home once a month, if she could.
What do y'all like most about being married?
Having someone to come home to, just having someone there. And some people don't understand it. I spent 5 years getting to know me after we had been married for a while. I've spent 5 years relearning how to take care of myself. But there was always that time when I look around, just me. And I don't mean just having somebody, but you know, having somebody who really understands you and know what makes you tick, and you know,
the comfortability of somebody that know who I am with all my twerks and idiosyncrasies, everything, and they still like being around.
Right.
It's, you know, it's all those things he say, and the comfortability to me. Good.
Yeah.
We're learning. We're trying to learn how to take care of each other because we're at that stage where we lose our keys, and I normally go get them. So I wasn't able to be at that job. I would have found those keys today because I know where to go
You would
look.
have
And
found
things
them.
like that. Things
You would
like
have found
that.
them.
Just,
Huh?
You would have
Nope.
found keys.
I would have found them.
Oh, he would have found it.
Yeah.
During quarantine, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, we weren't able. The part when we weren't able, we had to isolate. Couldn't go nowhere, do anything, whatever. Did you
Mhm.
guys have any aha moments, reflections, moments of clarity, anything like that about your life? One person told me that's when they decided to ask their longtime girlfriend to get married because they was like,
Oh.
"Whoa,
Okay, that is, yeah. That was a
they've
real
been dating a
aha
long
moment.
time." It was like, "Whoa, let me do what I need to do here."
Uh-huh. Well, I could, even with that statement, I made me think about, we did talk about how we were grateful we were together because even though our family couldn't come over there, we had each other
Mm-hmm.
and we could call and talk, as we needed to. But it was that we didn't have to go through this by ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
With being single, that was one of the other good things. We were still married and together.
Mm-hmm.
Is because there was a lot of people talking about how lonely they were,
Yeah.
and no companionship, and they were depressed behind all that
Yeah. All the
in
mental
the
health
pandemic
issues.
and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to share that together
Okay.
because this was a big
It was
deal.
something.
It was.
Well, in the beginning, it was scary. I was like paralyzed. I mean, they first of all, they say 65 and over. That's me. Medical issues, COPD, that's me. So I'm like just sitting here, and people come to the door, and I'm like, "How you doing? Wear your mask." Oh man.
Wow.
But
Everybody knew, don't come in.
Yeah, and we didn't have our kids didn't come over for the first 3 or 4 months.
Wow. Yeah.
So she helped me get a grip on my fears with that. Because Ruthie, she like, if it's gonna come, it's gonna come. I'm like, well, I'm gonna do everything I can to keep it from. And then we did some
Plastic
traveling.
all the way from head to toe.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
And I'm still not real comfortable getting out like we used to. But I'm more comfortable, I guess, the last couple of months than I've been in a while. And I think it's because we tested positive and we went through it. And I went over in Puerto Rico and came back sick.
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah, I came back sick, and but it was mild because I had all my shots and stuff. So I started recognizing, okay, you've done everything you can do now. Leave it in the hands of God. Quit tripping. Quit tripping. And that really helped me, and she helped me with that.
Okay. I was home. My daughter was still home. The one that's gone to law school now. She was with me, so it was me and her. And she's an introvert. So I was still by myself. So
yeah, right.
I could go downstairs and say 2 or 3 words to her. She like, and I'd go back upstairs. But it was just so good to have somebody in the house with me though.
Right.
You guys already mentioned that you did seek out counseling before and that you do see that that's a good thing, and even pre-counseling is good. What advice would you give a young couple who's thinking about marriage at this day and time?
Courting. Go back to courting. That's a word people don't even talk about. They call it dating or whatever, but that courting means that I'm here to get to know you. I want to know your family. I want to know something about you. I want to see if we got some commonalities. I want to see what's different. Can I live with you with the differences and stuff like that? It's deeper than, oh, he sure looked nice. And, it's looking inside.
Yeah.
He has a good 401k.
Yeah.
Got good benefits. Yeah. This is a lot deeper than that.
That 401k will have you miserable trying to hold on to it. And, so go back to courting, really dating, not just so that, you can get to conquer and all that, but to get to know the person.
Yeah.
I think that's why we are still together. We did do that. We courted. I got to know her family, even though her mama fooled me thinking that she could cook. because her mama was always feeding me. But
Oh,
I
that
got to
made you
know her.
think Ruthie could cook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Ruthie go fix Roy a plate.
Ruthie couldn't cook.
Yeah, she could fix them plates though. So, but yeah, just get to know each other, man.
Yeah.
You know, we
You don't have to move so fast.
That's
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
it. It's time. It's take your time.
Mhm.
And then I don't know why it seems like people can be together, but when they say I do, things start falling apart. And I think it's because that we don't show people the real us. And once we get married, okay, now boom, you know.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about, I've had some people talk about they send their representative in for those, that's not the real person.
Right. It's
Yeah.
not the real person. Yeah.
And be honest with each other.
Mhm.
First, be honest with yourself,
Mhm.
and then be honest with the other person.
Yeah.
Because this is somebody that you're going to be with the rest of your life. And if you're hiding stuff now, you can't hide when you're in the same house.
Definitely. It's going to come right on out. I am in the middle of reading Diane. Well, I just read Cicely Tyson's book. Now I'm reading Diane Carroll. I didn't know how many times Diane Carroll had been married. I'm like, well, she didn't wait no time. I don't know how I don't think she even knew any of them people. Because I'm like, my God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That
Yeah.
reminds me, I just watched Claudine this weekend again.
Oh.
Yeah, that brought that up for me. Yeah.
And I'm saying I'm reading the books, but I fallen in love with Audible. So I listened to it. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go back and look at Claudine because now she's talking about it. I'm like, I want to see it again. So yeah.
It was a good movie.
On that note, I think about back then, how many times people were getting married back then. Like it was like a thing to just switch out husbands or wives.
We had a counselor, we had a marriage counselor, and he got to talking about if she don't meet your needs, find somebody to do. We fired him.
We found another one.
No, man, you got the wrong couple. We ain't looking for that.
Yeah.
That what did you do, Ruthie? Just looked.
I just looked. I'm like, okay. But I knew he wasn't married. Excuse me. I knew he wasn't married. Okay. So I was like, okay, that's why I didn't want to come to him. See, back then he was picking the counselor. Yeah. Wasn't no interviewing of each other, the counselor and the us. Yeah.
That is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
We went through, and this is something that's important. We went through several therapists before we found someone we both agreed on. And right now she's a phone call away. And it's like wherever we go to her, we can pick up because she's been in our life for a long time.
Yeah.
And she's not biased. She does her job. She's good people. And she actually understands the dynamics of marriage, and how it's not perfect. And because she even shared a lot of the similarities with her husband that they have that Ruth and I have. And so we kind of got, okay, maybe we got some normality in this. Maybe we're not just way over young.
Maybe we're not crazy.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just hope those who are listening pay attention to that too, because I say that all the time with mental health, that you need to go to counseling or you need to get a therapist, but just note, just because that's the first counselor that you get, that's not who you have to stay with. If you're not comfortable with that person, if you're not able to be open and transparent, that ain't the right one. It's okay to change until you find the person that fits. What about a couple who is struggling and they're considering separating or divorcing? If they asked you, man, what do we do? What can we do? What would you say to them?
I could just share my experiences. I really have to watch myself because I will lay out a plan for people. if so I have to fall back to sharing what happened when I was in that situation. Because they don't ever tell you the whole truth.
Yeah.
So when you start giving advice, you're giving advice based on what they're telling you, and that's not the truth.
That's true.
So I just share my experience of what I went through, what we went through, what we did, and how it worked out, and let them kind of choose their own path. because man, that is just it's just something that everybody wants to work, but it's not just a workable situation all the time. It's just
And
not.
the person also have to be aware of that they're wrong too, to be
There
able
you
to
go.
take some accountability
There you go.
for what they do. Are you guys enjoying seeing your kids grow up and now you have grandbabies? How do y'all like that?
We love the grandbabies because we can send them home.
Send them straight on. We just adopted a little French dog. I had a litter and we kept one, and I'm almost ready to send him to Nikki.
Empty nesting is good.
Yeah.
We were ready. We were ready. And you know, our kids have been gone for a minute. But we didn't consider ourselves empty nesters until after Roy's mom passed. And nobody else was staying here but us.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We've never had our home to ourselves. And so we are enjoying it to the fullest.
We are.
She tell everybody, you better call ahead because he's going to be up there and walk around naked.
So we're gonna play a game real quick. And I want y'all to, as much as you can, turn your backs towards each other. And I'm gonna ask you a question and y'all point at who does it. So if I say who snores the most, you point at the person.
Okay.
You ready?
Right.
Do y'all remember who initiated the first kiss? Okay. Who apologizes first after a fight? Who's the funny one?
I'm not forgetting.
Okay. Who is more romantic? Oh, that was an even. That was good. That was good.
That was even one. Good one. Okay.
Who texts or calls the most?
Me.
Who is the most patient?
Ooh-wee. I might have to say her.
That's what I thought. Who is the better cook? Uh-oh.
Hey.
Cook and clean go together, right?
Cook and clean.
Cook and clean.
Clean the kitchen as you're cooking.
No.
He doesn't clean it, period.
You know.
No.
Who takes longer to get dressed when going somewhere? Okay. Who takes longer in the shower? Okay. Who's the most spontaneous? I can't see you, Ruthie. There you go. Okay. Oh, that was an even one. Both of y'all think, were you doing it to you or him?
I'm doing it to me.
Oh, okay. So y'all got that right. Okay.
Okay.
Who is the grumpier in the morning? Who's more stubborn? Okay. Who's the better driver? I figured that's what would be said. Who spends more money? Okay. I'm shocked by that one. Who's the bigger?
He said he agreed with me. Yes, he does.
Who's the bigger baby when they're sick? Okay. And who's the social butterfly?
I don't believe that.
Yeah, both of y'all.
I am an introvert.
You were the introvert?
Yes, I am an introvert.
She's what?
You put in that arena and
that's only people that know me.
It's got to be a select few. That's kind of how Kayla, my daughter, thrives. It's like people she knows she can get comfortable.
That's right.
Who's the messier one, meaning cleanliness? Like I throw clothes all over the room when I'm getting dressed.
Okay.
Okay. Say that again now.
Huh?
All right.
Say that again. Ask that again.
Who's the messier one, like cleanliness, as far as like throwing clothes all over the room? You just drop everything. Okay. Oh, Cowboys or Texans? Neither. Cowboys or Texans? Who likes who? Which team?
It used to be
Texans. I don't. Texans.
Who said used to be Texans?
Used to be.
You don't like them no more?
They are really, to me, disheartening the way that situation
Don't
is.
get him started on those Texans.
That was it. That was the last question.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all had a lot of them right. I mean,
Oh, we did?
yeah, that was
That's
cool.
good. See what 47 years will bring you?
I know.
We could win some money on some kind of show.
Any last words you have regarding love, marriage, and relationships? If you want to wind it up.
Make sure you like the person that you're going to marry. Make sure you like them. Love will stay there, but when you like a person, it makes a big difference. If you're just infatuated with a person or whatever, but if you like them, like their personality and stuff like that, it's a lot easier.
And during the pandemic, I think that's what happened too. I think people found out they didn't like the people they live with.
Right.
Definitely think that happened.
Mm-hmm. I think that did happen for a lot of people. I think I agree with him when he says that if you like the person that you're considering marriage, then it'll be worth it to you. You'll continue to love each other, and it's really worth it.
Mm-hmm.
The work you put in, you find is worth it, and it's not as hard as you think. If you like the person, because you have to like them, their ways, some of their behaviors, some things other than their physical stuff that you're attracted to. There's something there.
Okay.
I think that
I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. You have to like the person.
What?
And so you guys do, though, I know you do. I don't even know what I'm going to ask this. Believe in the entity of marriage. We just need to work out this courtship thing, doing more of that, and then just liking the person that you decide that you're going to marry.
Be honest.
Yeah, and
honesty.
Don't play the TV game.
And don't send your representative in, because
That's
it all come out.
Yeah. When I was dating her, she nothing changed. Ruthie was Ruthie. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go over one day, she was all lip gloss and stuff like that and that. You know what I'm saying? And I would come by when I got off work, and then of course, I've always been a flashy dresser, so she got a chance to meet both roles.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah, because when I see those the little memes that they have, and they say this is what she looked like, well then after that she take off her hair, she take off her eyelashes. What is that?
Never had that problem.
Right.
What in the world is that? So yeah.
There's a back when the Jerry Curl was, we've been married for some years. I used to spend more money on my hair than she did on hers.
That's all right.
Different Jerry Curls was expensive.
Yeah, they were, and we were the Jerry Curl family.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Except for Trey.
Oh,
because he had naturally curly hair.
Oh, yeah.
But Nikki, my daughter says that's why she is bald headed now.
Because she had the Jerry Curl.
Yeah, because she said I put a Jerry Curl on her hair, too young and too long. I said, okay, baby.
Well, that makes me feel good because my daughter will never forgive me. My youngest, I put some cute crimps in her hair for the sixth grade prom.
Okay.
And I still think that's the most adorable picture. And she still talks about to this day that she hates it that I made her go with her hair like that.
Okay.
I'm like, well, I thought you were cute. So
that's right. That's right.
Well, Ruthie and Roy, I want to thank y'all. I hope y'all had a good time. This was fun.
It was.
Thank y'all for coming on.
Yeah,
we did it.
I was a little apprehensive at first, but I just told Mr. Beck, I say, the truth will be told, baby. I will be on there. We'll do good.
What I get a lot of people who are uncomfortable or they think twice about it, but I always tell them it's like we're just gonna be talking.
Yeah,
that's why I call it chat, because believe it or not, people, when you say the word interview,
yeah,
it freaks
that makes
people
a
out.
difference.
We gotta get ready, get dressed.
And I'm a talker. You said what?
Send our representative in. I don't want to interview.
Anyway, guys, thank y'all again for joining me tonight, and thank you for your transparency. That's always makes the best show. Yeah. And everybody else, thank y'all for making the choice to click in to chat with Trina, and thank you for joining my month of Black History and Black Love. Make sure y'all go to youtube.com/chat with Trina. Subscribe, people. Subscribe. It doesn't cost a penny for you to support my show, and subscribe. And then click the little bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Bye, Ruthie. Bye, Roy.
Bye.
Tell everybody hi.
Have a good night.
Thank you again, Roy and Ruthie, for chatting with Trina today. I appreciate you joining in with my other couples for my month of Black Love and Black History. And I also want to thank you so much for your open, honest, and transparent answers to the questions that I asked. Your advice was wonderful. I really appreciate it, and I would love to have you back on again. Thanks. And guys, y'all make sure y'all go to youtube.com/chat with Trina and like, comment, subscribe, and most of all, share. And then hit that little bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Bye.